Ever wondered how Harvard students manage their heavy workload and still perform at the top? Today, I'm sharing 7 study secrets used by actual Harvard students to stay ahead of the curve. And the best part? These aren't just for Ivy Leaguers. Anyone can use them to up their study game. Get ready to take some notes because we're about to unlock the secrets of Harvard's study success. Our first study secret is active recall, a total game changer. This technique is not just about going through the motions. It's about truly engaging with the material in a way that makes it stick in your memory. Active recall is a method that has been proven to enhance learning and retention, making it a powerful tool for students of all ages. Simply rereading information doesn't cement it in your memory. When you just read or highlight text, you might feel like you're learning, but in reality, you're not challenging your brain enough. It's a passive activity that doesn't require much effort. And as a result, the information doesn't get stored in your long-term memory. It's like trying to learn a dance by just watching. You need to practice. Imagine watching a dance performance and thinking you can perform the same moves without ever practicing. It's the same with studying. Watching or reading isn't enough. You need to actively engage with the material to truly understand and remember it. Active recall involves engaging with the material and testing yourself. This means you're not just passively reading or watching, you're actively trying to remember and apply what you've learned. This could be through self-quizzing, writing summaries, or even teaching the material to someone else. Harvard students use flashcards for key terms and quiz themselves after reading chapters. This method helps them reinforce what they've learned and identify areas where they need more practice. Flashcards are a simple yet effective tool that can be used in various ways to enhance learning. Flashcards are versatile and effective, and apps like Anki and Quizlet make them easy to use. These apps offer digital flashcards that you can carry with you anywhere, making it convenient to study on the go. They also use spaced repetition, a technique that helps you review information at increasing intervals, which is proven to improve retention. You can also summarize concepts in your own words or teach the material to someone else. When you put information into your own words, you're forced to process it more deeply, which helps you understand and remember it better. Teaching someone else is another powerful way to reinforce your learning because it requires you to explain the material clearly and accurately. The key is to actively test yourself rather than passively absorbing information. Practice tests, flashcards, and teaching are all forms of active recall that challenge your brain and help you retain information more effectively. The more you test yourself, the better you'll understand the material and the more confident you'll become in your knowledge. So, ditch the highlighter and embrace active recall. Highlighters might make your notes look pretty, but they don't do much for your memory. Instead, focus on methods that require you to actively engage with the material. Your study sessions will be more productive, and you'll find that you remember more of what you've learned. Your brain will thank you for it. By using active recall techniques, you'll not only improve your memory and understanding, but also boost your confidence and reduce study-related stress. You'll feel more prepared for exams and more capable of tackling challenging subjects. So start testing yourself to success today. Our next study secret is the Feynman Technique, named after the brilliant physicist Richard Feynman, who is known for his ability to break down complex topics into simple, understandable concepts. The core idea behind the Feynman Technique is that if you can't explain something simply, you don't truly understand it. This method forces you to confront your own understanding and identify gaps in your knowledge. Imagine teaching the concept to someone who knows nothing about it. This could be a friend, a younger sibling, or even an imaginary audience. The goal is to break it down in a clear, concise way that anyone could understand. Start by writing out the concept as if you were explaining it to someone else. Use simple language and avoid jargon. The act of writing helps solidify your understanding and makes it easier to spot areas where you might be confused. As you write, pretend you are explaining it to a friend or a younger sibling. This forces you to simplify the information and make it more accessible. If you find yourself struggling to explain a part, that's a sign you need to review that section more thoroughly. Identify areas where you get stuck and revisit those points. Go back to your textbooks, notes, or other resources to clarify your understanding. This iterative process helps reinforce your learning and ensures you have a solid grasp of the material. Many students, including those at prestigious institutions like Harvard, use this technique in study groups. They take turns teaching each other, which not only helps the person explaining, but also benefits the listeners by exposing them to different perspectives and explanations. Another effective strategy is to record yourself explaining the material. This allows you to play back the recording and identify any gaps or areas where your explanation might be unclear. It's a powerful way to self-assess and improve your understanding. Use the Feynman Technique to deepen your understanding. By continually refining your explanations and addressing any gaps, you'll develop a more comprehensive and nuanced grasp of the subject matter. You might be surprised by how much you learn in the process. The Feynman Technique not only helps you master the material, but also builds your confidence in explaining complex topics to others. It's a valuable skill that will serve you well in both academic and professional settings. Distractions are everywhere, and our smartphones can be productivity killers. The Pomodoro technique helps manage study time with focused intervals. Set a timer for 25 minutes of pure focus, followed by a 5-minute break. This method prevents burnout and boosts productivity. Harvard students use physical timers or apps to stay on track. Plan breaks strategically to stretch, snack, or clear your head. The Pomodoro technique is about mindful time management and mental well-being. Embrace it to master focus in a distracted world. Prioritizing deep work, unleashing your inner focus. Ninja. Deep work is about focusing intensely on demanding tasks without distractions. It's a skill that requires practice and discipline. Harvard students schedule dedicated blocks of time for deep work. They find quiet spots, turn off phones, and use website blockers. Deep work involves resisting multitasking and savoring progress on challenging tasks. The rewards include higher quality work and a sense of accomplishment. Cultivate deep work to unlock your inner focus, ninja. Pre-reading before class, priming your brain for knowledge. Pre-reading prepares you to absorb and retain information more effectively. It's like getting a sneak peek of a movie before watching it. Harvard students skim assigned material, noting headings and key terms. They jot down key takeaways or questions for class. Pre-reading isn't about memorizing details, but getting the gist of the material. It primes your brain to engage more deeply during class. Make pre-reading a strategic part of your study routine. Study groups for mastery. The power of collaborative learning. Studying doesn't have to be solitary. Effective learning happens through collaborative study groups. Harvard students form small, dedicated groups to support each other. Choose motivated classmates and set clear goals for each session. Encourage active participation and explain concepts to each other. Quiz each other and work through problems collaboratively. Study groups make learning engaging and less isolating. Leverage the power of collaborative learning for mastery. Have fun and enjoy the process. Scheduled review sessions. Outsmarting the forgetting curve. The forgetting curve shows how information is lost over time when there's no attempt to retain it. But with scheduled review sessions, you can outsmart this curve. Spaced repetition involves reviewing material at increasing intervals. This method leverages the psychological spacing effect, which helps in transferring information from short-term to long-term memory. It strengthens neural pathways and aids long-term memory. By revisiting the material at strategic intervals, you reinforce the neural connections, making it easier to recall information when needed. Harvard students schedule regular review sessions for each subject. They understand the importance of consistent review and make it a part of their daily routine. They use flashcards, practice quizzes, or summarize key concepts. These tools are effective in reinforcing the material and identifying areas that need more focus. Start reviewing soon after learning and gradually increase intervals. This approach ensures that the information is fresh in your mind and helps in solidifying the knowledge. It requires planning and discipline, but pays off in retention. Creating a study plan and sticking to it can be challenging, but the rewards are worth the effort. Make spaced repetition a habit to ace exams and retain knowledge. Consistency is key. By making this a regular practice, you can ensure that you are always prepared for exams and retain the information long-term. Outsmart the forgetting curve with scheduled review sessions. By planning your study sessions and sticking to them, you can effectively combat the forgetting curve. Your brain will thank you for it. Not only will you perform better academically, but you'll also feel more confident and less stressed about exams. 7 study secrets used by Harvard students to conquer their workload. We covered active recall, the Feynman Technique, the Pomodoro Technique, deep work, pre-reading, study groups, and spaced repetition. Start small, experiment, and find what works best for you. These techniques are accessible to anyone willing to put in the effort. Choose 1 or 2 secrets and give them a try. Happy studying!